Okay, this is one of the most disturbing things you'll watch today. A man falls from a 3-story building, yes, 3 whole floors up. That's the kind of fall that usually ends in tragedy. And to make things worse, he doesn't just hit the ground. No, he comes crashing down on top of a car. The sound alone must have been terrifying, like something straight out of a nightmare. Now here's the part that will make your jaw drop. Instead of broken bones, blood, or even the tiniest scratch, this guy stands back up, completely fine. Imagine everyone around him, frozen, expecting the worst, only to watch him dust himself off like nothing happened. Some people say it was pure luck. Others are calling it a miracle. But think about it. How do you explain something like this? A fall from that high should have been deadly. Yet somehow, he walks away, as if some invisible force protected him. Whether you believe in miracles, crazy coincidences, or just pure chance, one thing's for sure, this story will leave you with chills. Because if something like this can happen, what else is possible? While hiking through a quiet forest trail with his dog, everything seemed peaceful at first. The sun was slipping behind the trees, the air was cool, and nothing felt out of the ordinary. But then, the dog suddenly froze. His ears shot up, his fur stood on end, and he started barking non-stop. The hiker immediately knew something wasn't right. Dogs don't just act like that for no reason. So, the person scanned the darkening woods, searching for what had shaken the dog so, and that's when it happened.
Ollie, what are you barking at? That dog was barking hard. Man, it's a full moon tonight, yo. Full moon tonight. I don't know what the hell he's barking at. I have no idea. What the hell is he barking at? What the hell is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck? What the fuck is that, y'all?
Two glowing red eyes staring back from deep within the trees. For a few seconds, the hiker couldn't even move. The forest fell dead silent, as if everything around was watching too. Were those eyes just a trick of the light? Maybe some animal is hiding in the shadows? Or could it be something far more chilling? Like the legendary dogman people whisper about around campfires? The most unsettling part? Those eyes never blinked. They just hovered there in the dark, glowing, unblinking, waiting. Some say it might have been a prank, someone hiding with a flashlight. But others believe it was something unexplainable, something beyond human. One thing's for sure, the dog sensed it first. And sometimes when your dog reacts with that kind of fear, it's a warning you should never ignore. Because in the woods, you never really know what's out there. While riding a bike through a forest, this person thought it would just be another calm trip down the trail. The trees surrounded every side, tall and silent, with only the sound of tires crunching against dirt. It felt peaceful, until that peace shattered in an instant. Out of nowhere, a scream tore through the air. Not just a normal scream. This one was blood-curdling, the kind that makes every muscle freeze before instinct kicks in. The rider immediately pushed the pedals harder, racing through the path, trying to escape whatever made that horrifying sound. But here's the chilling part. The scream didn't even sound human. It was distorted, echoing through the forest like something straight out of a nightmare. Some people might say it resembled the call of a wendigo, a terrifying creature from old legends said to haunt the woods and mimic voices to draw people closer. Others might argue it was just a wild animal. Foxes and owls, after all, can make noises that sound eerily human when the night amplifies them. Still, the rider swore this was different. Every push forward felt like being chased by something unseen. The forest no longer felt like trees and shadows. It felt alive, watching, waiting, and that scream, it never left the rider's head, echoing even louder than the sound of the bike wheels. It's the dead of night, 3:54 in the morning. The house is quiet, the neighborhood asleep, but right outside the front door, something terrifying is moving. The security camera flickers on, and there they are. Not one, not two, but several mountain lions are creeping through the darkness, just a few steps away from the porch. The eerie glow of their eyes pierces the night, and every movement makes the air feel heavier. This isn't a random sighting either. Neighbors in the foothills just south of Santa Barbara have been whispering about it for weeks. A family of 4 big cats, a mother and her 3 young ones, have been roaming the streets after dark. And now they're right here, almost close enough to touch. The footage reveals them moving calmly, almost like they own the place. Then, just as the camera is about to time out, there's a shadow, a shape, another one coming up the path. But the screen cuts to black before it's clear. Was it the missing 4th lion, or could there be even more? Back in 2013, 2 American tourists were exploring the coast of Kiryat Yam, Israel, when they stumbled upon something bizarre perched on a rock just off the shore.
That's a weird-looking concealment. Are you filming this?
Yeah. How do you, where's the zoom on this?
Yeah, it's that button.
Oh, there, I got it.
What is that? Oh my God!
What is that?
Did you get that? Tell me you got that. Did you see that?
What? That is not a
Is this
silhouette.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
At first glance, it looked human, but the lower half was undeniably that of a fish. Shocked, they whipped out a camera and zoomed in, trying to capture the strange figure. But as if it sensed it was being watched, the creature suddenly slipped back into the waves, disappearing into the depths. Ever since, the clip has divided viewers. Some insist it's just another hoax, while others point out that even Animal Planet once aired eerily similar mermaid footage. So what do you think? Was this a real-life mermaid sighting? A siren straight out of legend? Or perhaps an entirely unknown aquatic cryptid? 2 friends thought they were just going on a peaceful hike through the woods. The sun was shining, the trail was quiet, and everything felt normal. At least at first. But here's the thing about nature. You never really know what's out there with you. As they kept walking deeper into the forest, something felt off. The air got heavy, and the silence wasn't calming anymore. It was almost too quiet, like the whole forest was holding its breath.
Don't look at what's in front of you. Boost, moving up and down again. Men go mad.
Slow, deliberate footsteps echoed from behind them. Not rushing, not running, just following. They turned around, and for a split second, they caught a glimpse of a shadowy figure standing between the trees. Not too close, but not far enough to ignore. The figure didn't say a word, didn't move, just stood there, watching. Imagine standing on the edge of a giant mountain, except this mountain isn't just a mountain. It's alive. It rumbles. It breathes smoke. And at any moment, it could unleash pure fire from deep inside the earth. That's exactly what happened to one hiker. She had been climbing for hours, excited to finally reach the top. But instead of a beautiful view, she was greeted with something terrifying. Thick, black smoke pushing out of the crater. The air grew hot. The ground shook beneath her boots. And suddenly, she realized she was standing on an active volcano. Now here's the chilling part, that smoke could have easily been something far worse. Lava. Burning, unstoppable rivers of fire that swallow everything in their path. Just imagine looking down and seeing the ground glowing red, knowing there's no way to outrun it. Hiking an active volcano isn't like hiking a normal trail. You're walking on top of a ticking time bomb. Toxic gases, falling ash, and landslides, all waiting to strike when you least expect them. And if lava does appear, there's nowhere to hide. So, the next time someone talks about climbing to the top of a volcano, remember this story. It might sound adventurous, but one wrong eruption could turn that adventure into the last hike ever. While hiking on the Lake Clementine Trail in Auburn, California, a group of friends thought they were capturing fun memories, but instead, their cameras recorded something no one could have imagined. The final moments of 19-year-old Raymond Cabalfin Jr. At first, the day looked perfect. The trail was alive with laughter, pictures, and videos. But just a few steps near the American River turned everything upside down. The water looked harmless, calm even. But beneath the surface, the current was a silent danger waiting to strike. As Raymond got closer to the river, the unthinkable happened.
Hey, wait, I'm gonna record this.
This is memories right here.
Hey, so we got my cousin,
bonding.
we got my boy Ray. All right, Ray, go for it. Do it, Ray, go. Go. 2, 1.
Boom! Carmen's gone. Oh.
The strong current pulled him in with terrifying force. His friends shouted, some reaching out in desperation, others still holding their phones in shock, not believing what they were seeing. Within seconds, Raymond was swept away, gone before anyone could react. The haunting part? The camera didn't stop rolling. What started as a fun memory became a chilling recording of a young man's final moments. Rescue teams searched, but Raymond never made it back. Now, his friends are left with a video they'll never forget. A reminder of how quickly joy can turn into tragedy. This heartbreaking story shows just how dangerous nature can be. A river might look safe on the outside, but its hidden strength can take a life in seconds. It's a warning to everyone, always respect the water, because one wrong step can change everything forever. A dark, quiet night. And suddenly, the silence is shattered by the most blood-curdling screams you could imagine. Not human, but not something you'd ever want to hear outside your window either.
Holy shit.
The storyteller swears it was the single most terrifying sound ever experienced. Full body chills, goosebumps, the works. Now some people are quick to say, oh, that's just coyotes, they always sound like that. But trust me, when you hear it for yourself, it's not some cute wildlife sound effect. It's the kind of thing that makes your stomach drop. Here's the crazy part. Instead of hiding away, the person telling this story opened the door. Yeah, sounds risky, right? But the reasoning was simple. The screams were coming from a distance. If those creatures were moving closer, the sound would have changed. Now, we all know coyotes usually aren't a huge threat to humans. Still, when there's more than one of them, when the pack starts howling and screaming together, it feels different. The storyteller stood there, cautious, scanning the night, fully aware of just how many unseen eyes could have been watching. In the end, nothing happened, but that sound, that bone-chilling chorus in the dark, was unforgettable. While hiking through a quiet forest, the kind where every step crunches leaves and the wind whispers through the trees, out of nowhere, a huge cloud of smoke drifts across the trail. At first, it just looks like normal smoke, maybe from a campfire somewhere far off. But here's the creepy part. The smoke doesn't move like regular smoke. It shifts, twists, and curls almost as if something or someone is controlling it. The hiker froze, watching it stretch into strange shapes, moving against the breeze. It didn't scatter or fade like smoke usually does. Instead, it floated in eerie waves, sliding across the path like it had a mind of its own. Every step closer made the air feel heavier, like the forest itself was holding its breath. For a second, the hiker swore the smoke was watching back. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the strange cloud slipped deeper into the trees and vanished. Nobody knows what it was. Was it just some weird trick of the wind? Or maybe something far stranger? Either way, that hike was never forgotten. While hiking deep in the forest, a camera was rolling to capture the beauty of nature. The air was calm, the trees whispered in the wind, and everything seemed peaceful. Until something completely unexpected happened.
Repérer les traces de l'individu en question dans les bois et comment sur la forêt on a...
Out of nowhere, the sound of footsteps echoed from behind. At first it felt harmless, maybe just another traveler on the trail. But when the camera turned, standing there was a tall figure cloaked from head to toe. At first glance, it almost looked human. But then the hood slipped, and beneath it weren't normal features. It was scales. That's when the chase began. The cloaked reptilian lunged forward, forcing the hiker to sprint down the twisting path. Every snap of a branch, every crunch of leaves underfoot, sounded like a warning that danger was closing in. The forest no longer felt safe. It felt alive, as though every shadow wanted to trap the hiker. Heart pounding, breath sharp, legs burning from the run. Yet the creature was still right behind. Then, suddenly, it slowed down, almost as if it wanted to be seen, before vanishing into the trees, leaving only silence behind. What the camera captured that day is still up for debate. Was it just someone in a costume? Or did the forest reveal a secret most people would never believe? One thing's certain, this was no ordinary hike. Deep in the forest, a trail cam caught something strange, almost like smoke drifting between the trees. But here's the thing, there was no fire, no camp nearby, and the movements didn't look natural at all. Some of these shapes twist and curl like mist, while others dart in different directions, almost as if they had a mind of their own. Imagine walking through the woods at night and suddenly seeing fog move against the wind. Pretty creepy, right? Now, this wasn't just one blurry figure. The camera picked up multiples, each one moving differently, crossing paths like shadows dancing in the dark. Could it have been bugs close to the lens? Dust? Or maybe something we can't explain? Nature has a way of hiding mysteries in plain sight. Sometimes what looks like smoke might be nothing more than a trick of the light. Other times, it makes people wonder, what else is out there when we're not looking? While hiking, this person saw something that would make anyone stop in their tracks. At first, it looked like a fallen log stretched across the trail, but then it moved. The log had scales, claws, and two glowing eyes that locked onto the world around it. It was an alligator, not just a regular one, but an abnormally large beast, so huge that the narrow trail seemed far too small for it. Each step made the ground crunch, and the forest went strangely quiet, almost as if everything else was too scared to make a sound. The hiker froze, heart racing, because in that moment, it felt less like a casual walk in nature, and more like stumbling into the territory of a prehistoric monster. But here's what made it even more chilling. The giant reptile didn't even care. It wasn't hunting, it wasn't angry. It was simply crossing the path, minding its business, as if the entire forest belonged to it. And honestly, with a creature that size, it probably did. While hiking deep in the woods, far from the nearest town, with nothing but the sound of crickets and the crunch of leaves underfoot, the air was calm, almost peaceful. But then, the silence broke. Out of nowhere, a blood-chilling scream echoed through the forest. It wasn't an animal call that hikers usually hear. No owl, no coyote. This was human, sharp, desperate, and filled with terror. Every step froze, heart racing, eyes darting between the trees. The thought came, someone's out here and they're in trouble. But another thought followed quickly. What if it wasn't a person at all? The mind raced with possibilities. Some hikers say foxes or bobcats can scream like people. Others swear it's something unexplainable, creatures that hide deep in the wilderness. Whatever it was, one thing was clear. The forest wasn't empty. With no phone signal and only the thin beam of a flashlight cutting through the dark, the choice had to be made. Keep moving forward into the unknown or turn back and hope the screaming didn't follow. Two hunters went deep into the woods, expecting nothing more than another ordinary day. But instead of prey, they stumbled onto something out of a nightmare. A wild boar, ripped clean in half as if some giant creature had torn it apart like paper. But here's where things get even stranger. The ground all around was covered in footprints. Massive ones, too big to belong to any human. The hunters followed the trail, their hearts racing, as the prints disappeared into the dark forest. Now people are asking the same chilling question. Could this be another sign of the Yeti? The mysterious beast that's said to roam deep, hidden places where no human dares to live? Think about it. No wolf, no bear, not even the strongest wild animal could leave marks like that. And the boar? It wasn't just attacked, it was split apart. That's not normal. That's not natural. Some believe this is proof that the Yeti is real, that it's out there watching, and now and then it leaves a warning. Others say it could be a hoax, maybe hunters trying to scare people. But let's be honest, would you go that far, just for a prank? Paula Miranda Rosa, a 31-year-old woman from Florida, vanished under chillingly mysterious circumstances after a visit to Wekiwa Springs State Park near Orlando. Her car was found abandoned and unlocked in the park's lot, with her phone, wallet, and even her shoes still inside. It was as if she'd simply walked off into the wilderness and vanished. Then came a haunting clue. Hikers in the area captured video and photos of a woman swimming alone in the alligator-infested Wekiwa River. Paola's family confirmed it was her. But what puzzled everyone was why she would willingly enter such dangerous waters alone, something her loved ones insisted she would never do. Despite massive search efforts, Paula was never found. No signs of struggle, no definitive answers, just silence. Authorities have ruled out foul play, but her disappearance remains one of Florida's most unsettling unsolved cases. This guy was just waiting for his DoorDash delivery, nothing out of the ordinary, until he heard a knock at the door. But when he checked, there was no food. No delivery, just this.
Come on. so curly.
A shadowy figure was standing dead still by a tree in the distance, watching him. It didn't move. It didn't speak. It just stared. Frozen with fear, he quickly pulled out his phone to record it, then rushed to hide in the bathroom. Eventually, the figure vanished into the night. That's when he called a friend to come pick him up. Would you have opened the door? It was supposed to be a fun 4th of July camping trip. Just 5 close friends spending the night by a quiet, secluded lake. Being from Alaska, they were no strangers to the eerie stillness of the woods or the occasional unsettling sound in the dark. The night was filled with fireworks, laughter, and snapshots by the water. But everything changed when they looked back at one of the photos. A pale, shadowy figure lurked just behind them. The person who took the picture swore no one else was there. What's even more chilling? The lake has a sinister reputation. Hauntings, drownings, and people who vanished without a trace. So who or what was in that photo? And what happened by that lake? A group of young women was enjoying a carefree day by the waterfall, soaking in the sun and serenity. 2 of them waded into the water for a quick dip, laughing and splashing, completely unaware of the danger lurking above. Then, out of nowhere, disaster struck. A deafening rumble echoed through the canyon as a sudden rock slide tore down the cliffside. Massive boulders crashed into the water just feet away from them. It could have been a tragedy, but miraculously, not a single one was harmed. Soaked and shaken, they made it out alive, completely untouched by the chaos that nearly claimed them. While combing through footage from his trail cam, a Virginia hunter discovered something chilling and eerie, an almost translucent figure that resembles either a ghostly child or some unknown creature stalking the forest. Some skeptics chalk it up to moonlight playing tricks on the lens, but others? They're not so sure. Is this spine-tingling image actual proof of the paranormal? Or just a creepy coincidence captured at the perfect moment? It was the morning of May 9th, 2025. A group of friends hit the road, ready for what was supposed to be a fun, laid-back trip. But just a few miles in, they noticed something strange. A car was tailing them, closely. Trying to be courteous, the driver pulled over to let it pass. Big mistake.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Out of nowhere, the trailing car didn't pass. It pounced. A textbook ambush, fast, aggressive, and terrifying. But this driver didn't panic. He reacted instantly, swerving out of the trap and saving everyone in the car. The entire incident was caught on a dashcam and handed over to the police. It provided investigators with a crucial lead, but as of July 10th, the suspects are still at large. It was a perfect sunny day by a dam in Brazil, laughter, splashing, and good vibes all around. But in an instant, everything changed.
Sai da água! Sai da água, sai da água! Vai, vai, vai! Sai da água! Todo mundo aqui, ó! Sai da água! Socorro! 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 Chega! Chega ligeiro! Chega! Chega!
Out of nowhere, the calm water twisted into chaos as a whirlpool suddenly formed and began racing toward the unsuspecting swimmers. Panic set in. People scrambled to get out. Miraculously, no one was injured. But the terror in that moment, real. A driver was cruising down a quiet road when he spotted what looked like a harmless shadow from a tree. Without a second thought, he kept going, only to realize too late that it wasn't a shadow at all. It was a massive crater. The car plunged in, crashing hard. The vehicle was wrecked, but miraculously, everyone walked away unscathed. Still, the shock, real. While trying to outrun a raging wildfire in Chile, a hiker caught something straight out of a disaster movie. A towering fire tornado ripping through the landscape. Unlike regular tornadoes formed by thunderstorms, fire tornadoes are spinning infernos of flame, smoke, ash, and debris. They form when extreme heat from the wildfire sends scorching air skyward, creating a vacuum that pulls in cooler air from below. If the wind and terrain align just right, the incoming air starts to spin rapidly. Some of these fiery monsters have clocked winds of over 140 miles per hour. Thankfully, the hiker made it out just in time, shaken, safe, and with jaw-dropping footage to prove it. That night, as they reviewed the pictures back at home, one friend's sister noticed something that made her blood run cold. In the background of their group photo was a shadowy figure wearing a hat, seemingly strolling right past them. The strange part? No one had seen anyone near them when the photo was taken. Terrified, she demanded they leave immediately. And when she showed the picture to the rest of the group, their excitement quickly turned to dread. From that night on, they made a pact. No more ghost tours. Was it just a random person they somehow didn't notice? Or did they unknowingly capture something far more chilling, something not meant to be seen? While hiking deep through a shadowy wooded trail near an old Massachusetts estate, this person stumbled upon something straight out of a nightmare. Standing silently among the trees were life-sized white statues, eerily human, cloaked in ghostly robes, and completely faceless. It looked like a haunting ritual frozen in time. But here's the twist. It turned out to be an outdoor art exhibit at the Mount, the historic home of author Edith Wharton. Still, for those first few chilling moments, it felt like they'd walked straight into a horror movie. Luckily, this time, the fear was all in their head. While walking their dog through a quiet, empty park, someone made a chilling discovery. Lying beneath a tree was a small handmade doll, its fabric body sealed with what appeared to be melted candle wax. Strands of real human hair were stitched into its head, and gripped tightly in its stiff little hands was a torn piece of paper. On it, one word, Christopher, scrawled in frantic handwriting. It didn't feel like trash or a prank. The way it was placed, so deliberate, it felt like a curse. Like someone was targeting Christopher, and whatever this was, it had already begun. Josh and his grandparents lived a peaceful, secluded life deep in the Appalachian Mountains, until the neighbors started getting weird. They began trespassing without a word, crossing fences like they weren't even there, completely ignoring boundaries and warnings. The strange behavior escalated fast. Creaking footsteps at night, eerie figures lurking just beyond the tree line. Josh reported it all to the sheriff, but nothing changed. So, he set up hidden cameras, determined to uncover the truth. But the footage? It didn't bring answers, only more disturbing questions. What had gotten into these people? And worse, was it even still them? A Reddit user named Spawnkill stumbled upon something chilling outside their cabin. A bunch of throwing knives scattered across the front yard. No note, no explanation, just cold steel lying in the grass. Were they left as a warning, a sick prank, or something far more sinister? One thing's for sure, throwing knives don't just appear out of nowhere, and not like this. While visiting his aunt's home in Malaysia, a Reddit user stumbled upon an old photograph hidden high on a dusty shelf, one he barely noticed as a kid. He'd always assumed it was just a peaceful landscape from his late uncle's travels in southern China. But this time, something felt off. There, looming in the distance of the photo, was a dark, human-like figure. At first, he brushed it off, maybe a shadow, or just his eyes playing tricks on him. But after digging up other photos taken from the same spot, the figure was completely absent. No shadow, no shape, nothing. So now he's left wondering, what exactly did his uncle capture that day? A man had slipped into the raging sea near Rabat, Morocco, thrashing against waves that tossed him like a rag doll. Onlookers crowded the shore, desperately reaching out with belts and jackets, trying to save him from the unforgiving current. Then, without hesitation, one man dove in. He reached the drowning victim just as a massive wave crashed over them. For a terrifying moment, both disappeared beneath the churning foam. But then, against all odds, they surfaced. With help from the crowd, both men were pulled to safety, gasping for air. 1 second slower, one slip in timing, and this could have ended in tragedy. While exploring Hobson's Lake Trail in Halifax, a Redditor made a chilling discovery deep in the woods. An old abandoned wooden cabin, hidden beneath layers of overgrowth. But what truly sent shivers down their spine wasn't the structure itself, it was what was inside. Hanging eerily behind a dusty window was a headless doll, suspended from a rusty chain. No movement, no signs of anyone around, just silence, and that disturbing image. They snapped a quick photo and got out fast. Was it a twisted prank? Or something left behind with a darker story? Either way, it's the kind of thing that haunts your thoughts long after you've left the forest. In Hawaii, there's a place that looks like it was ripped straight from a nightmare, the West Kamakuna lava skylight. It's a gaping circular hole that peers directly into an active lava tunnel, glowing red hot like the mouth of a furnace. But the real chills come from what surrounds it. The scorched ground nearby is littered with bizarre lava formations and twisted shapes that eerily resemble human limbs, distorted faces, and bodies frozen mid-scream. Some call it a natural coincidence, others think there's something more to it. Whatever the truth is, one thing's certain, it's both haunting and breathtaking. In a century-old home, a woman and her daughter began exploring a section of the house they hadn't stepped into in years. Hidden behind aging wooden panels, they stumbled upon a mysterious, tightly wrapped bundle. The daughter hesitated. Something about it felt wrong. But the mother pressed forward, unwrapping it with her bare hands.
What would be the point of this hanging up? Oh, gosh. Oh, there's a button.
Oh. What's that breathing? Is that a diaper?
No. Oh, it's a baby thing. It's a baby outfit.
Oh no, Mama. You are haunted for life. And me, because you made me touch it first.
Why is that like blood? What is this? Why would that be in there? No way. We gotta check all of it.
What?
Inside was a strange antique baby outfit. What is this doing here? Why would someone hide this? And why does it feel heavy with something else? A small button clicked. An eerie silence followed. The mother later posted about their find online, hoping for answers. Instead, she was met with chilling theories. Many believed she had awakened something ancient, something that should have stayed hidden. While hiking alone, Instagram user Smithereens felt that eerie, unmistakable sensation like he wasn't truly alone. At first, he chalked it up to nerves, but then he turned his camera toward the trees, and what he captured sent chills down his spine. Peeking from behind one of the trunks was a pale, human-like figure. The second he locked eyes with it, instinct kicked in, and he took off running. The video ends with him fleeing, with no update and no explanation. After a long night of relentless rain that carried into the morning, something strange appeared.
All right, so this morning, me and my dad found these boot prints along our asphalt driveway. And it was a little strange. We were a little freaked out because we live in the woods, middle of nowhere. Yeah. And these footprints, we did some tests, and my dad is 5'11", size 12 shoe. And the prints are bigger than his shoe size. And the strides were much too large for his height. And yeah, here are the prints. I don't know if you can see them very well. It's not great visibility. I'm trying to find one with good visibility that's kind of there. Walks along, goes away, and it disappears right over here. I don't know why. Let me find a better print. That's a pretty vivid one right there. You can see the outline right there. The point with a little blank space in the middle, which I'll explain in the text below.
They inspected the prints. His father, standing 5 feet 11 inches and wearing size 12 shoes, couldn't match them. These were much bigger, and the stride was too long for anyone his height. Whoever or whatever made them, he adds, had to be at least 6 feet 3 inches, maybe wearing a size 13 or 14 boot. He scans the path where the prints continue in a perfect line, until they just vanish. No scuffs, no drag marks, gone. One print stands out. It's unusually clear. A defined toe, a blank spot where the heel lifts. Not your average hiking boot, not even modern. They look like something from the past, curved toes, strange spacing, almost identical to centuries-old military boots. And considering there's a cluster of war-era graves just beyond the woods, it begs the question, what kind of boots leave a trail through the rain and then disappear without a trace? Late one night, a man decided to take a walk through the nearby woods when a strange sound pierced the silence. He'd heard it before, always after dark, but something about it never felt right. The sound seemed to drift from one direction to another, never settling, never keeping a rhythm. Some were sure it had to be man-made. Others swore it was an animal, maybe even something unnatural. But as always, the internet had a surprising explanation. The eerie noise wasn't a ghost or some forest creature stalking the night. It was just a tiny Eurasian scops owl. Mysterious, yes, but not so scary after all. While hiking through Kings Canyon National Park, a YouTuber from the channel Norwegian Explorer found himself in a tense and unexpected encounter. As he approached a campsite, he spotted a bear creeping toward a couple who were packing up their gear, drawn in by the scent of food.
Go away. You can't stay here. Go away. Go away. Go away. Good boy. Yeah, I wanted to circle him so he doesn't feel trapped. Go away. Go away. Yeah, good boy. What? I wanted to get on your side so he doesn't feel trapped.
The bear hesitated, then bluff charged twice. Realizing he wasn't alone, another nearby camper joined him. They raised their arms high and made themselves look bigger, shouting to intimidate the animal.
Hey, stop. Go away. Oh, he's coming. Ah! 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 Ah!
The bear slowly backed off, disappearing into the woods. Shaken but safe, the couple wasted no time leaving the area. As for the YouTuber, he kept hiking, camera still rolling. While journeying through a remote village in rural Africa, a traveler stumbled upon a bizarre and unforgettable sight. A man standing calmly by the roadside, with what looked like a goat's leg. Not just any prosthetic or illusion. This leg had actual fur, hooves, and all the markings of something straight out of folklore. Whispers in the area blame it on a powerful voodoo curse, while skeptics claim it's nothing more than an elaborate hoax or cleverly crafted prosthetics. Whatever the truth may be, one thing's certain, this was no ordinary encounter. Deep in the heart of a dark, overgrown forest, someone set up a trail camera to catch glimpses of wildlife. But what the footage captured was far from ordinary. In one eerie frame, a woman in a flowing white dress appeared, standing still, staring straight into the lens. Stranger still, she seemed to have antlers growing from her head. Then, just 40 minutes later, she was gone, vanished without a trace. If this happened, it's the stuff of nightmares. But something about the photo feels off, too cinematic. Too perfect. Maybe it was staged, or maybe we just weren't meant to understand what we saw. While hiking through a snowy wilderness, this person spotted something bizarre, a massive cloud hanging far too low in the sky. At first it just looked strange, but then something changed. Look closely, up there. It's hard to make out, almost hidden. It just looks like clouds, but not quite. Suddenly, the cloud began shifting in a way that didn't feel natural, almost like it was alive. Clouds drift and change all the time, but this one moved like it had a purpose. Some believe it wasn't natural at all, maybe man-made. Could it be part of secret weather experiments, geoengineering, or something else entirely? She lost her dad when she was just 5, and every big milestone since then felt incomplete. Especially her wedding day. 2 decades after his passing, she and her husband eloped to the mountains, choosing a quiet, scenic overlook to capture the moment with Polaroid photos. As one of the images developed, a strange, glowing, man-shaped light appeared behind them. She laughed it off, assuming it was just a light leak. But when her mom saw the photo, she paused, stared, and softly said, "I think your dad was with you." Now, she can't shake the thought, was it just a trick of the camera, or did her father show up one last time to walk her down the mountain aisle? A Redditor shared a chilling story about their friend who works night shifts at a remote construction site. But one night, everything changed. The friend sent over a picture of his nightly routine. Nothing unusual at first glance. But when they paused the footage, something stood out. Near one of the idle machines was a tall, dark, human-like figure, motionless and unnervingly out of place. Just seconds earlier, the spot was empty. Whatever it was, it shouldn't have been there, and it sent shivers down their spine. A bizarre trail cam photo recently popped up on Reddit, sparking a wave of speculation. The image shows a small, hunched figure with large, glowing eyes and what appear to be exaggerated lips, not your everyday forest critter. Some users were quick to suggest it might be a cryptid or something out of a horror movie, but others offered a more grounded explanation. It could be a juvenile barn owl clutching a rodent in its beak, which might explain the strange lip illusion. But admit it, it still looks seriously creepy. About 10 years ago, a Reddit user shared a seemingly ordinary family trip to a nearby lake. Just a fun day in the sun with the kids. But when they got home and started flipping through the photos, one image stopped them cold. In the picture, a distinct shadow of a hand was visible on their niece's back. The eerie part? No one was standing near her at the time. Even stranger, the angle of the shadow made no sense. If it belonged to a person, more of the arm should have been visible, maybe even part of their body or head. To this day, the family can't explain what they captured in that photo, and the mystery still haunts them. Years ago, Reddit user AC Machina was hanging out with friends in a pitch-dark high school classroom late at night. Everything was quiet, too quiet. Then, out of nowhere, they felt a strange presence behind them. Trusting their gut, they spun around and quickly snapped a few photos using their Samsung Galaxy S4. The first photo? Normal. An empty room with the soft glow of electronics in the background. But the next photo? The glow was gone. Something was blocking it. Standing there was a tall, pitch-black, human-shaped figure. No face, no features, no one else in the room. So, what did they just photograph? While taking a late-night walk in the forest, this person lit up a joint, just vibing and enjoying the stillness. But then, out of nowhere, horror-like screams echoed through the trees. Something or someone was running nearby, fast, and letting out blood-curdling screams every 10 seconds. As it moved further away, this person managed to catch a recording. Who or what was that? While hiking the Thames River path in the UK back in 2013, this person's boyfriend snapped a few peaceful photos of the trail, completely alone, surrounded by trees. For years, they thought nothing of one particular shot. It looked like the trail just opened up into a clearing, a typical light at the end of the tunnel kind of moment. But today, more than a decade later, this person decided to zoom in on that photo. And what they saw gave them chills. That clearing? It wasn't a clearing at all. It looked like a white glowing shape, and what's even creepier is that it seems to shift between two different photos, taken moments apart. No one was there. No one should have been there. While hiking through the woods on an overcast afternoon, this person stumbled across an old moss-covered well hidden beneath a tangle of roots and vines. At first, everything seemed normal, until this person noticed something crouched beside the well.
Uy, ya paró.
¡Puta huevo!
Se estiró.
It wasn't an animal. No. It was the faint figure of a boy, completely still, as if frozen in time. But then, he began to rise. Not in a natural way. His form dissolved into a swirling mist of shadow, slowly lifting into the air. The figure hovered above the well, circling it in complete silence like he was bound to it, like he was the well. Why would a child's ghost linger here, in the middle of nowhere? Could it be he fell in and never left? This person didn't stick around to find out, but even now, the image still haunts them. The crouched figure, the rising shadow, the feeling that something ancient and tragic is trapped in that pit forever. While hiking a mountain in Hong Kong, this person stumbled upon an old photo taken over 12 years ago, and what he found in it was chilling. Back then, he was on one of those glass-bottom gondolas that glide over a body of water and into a mountainous region known for its serene temples and eerie burial grounds. From up there, he snapped a few aerial shots, just admiring the view. But looking at the photo today, he noticed something he had never seen before. There's a figure in the image, trailing a group of hikers deep in the mountain path. Who or what was that? Was it just a trick of the light, or something else entirely? While taking a late-night walk in the forest, this person lit up a joint, just vibing and enjoying the stillness. But then, out of nowhere, horror-like screams echoed through the trees. Something or someone was running nearby, fast, and letting out blood-curdling screams every 10 seconds. As it moved further away, this person managed to catch a recording. Who or what was that? While hiking the Thames River path in the UK back in 2013, this person's boyfriend snapped a few peaceful photos of the trail, completely alone, surrounded by trees. For years, they thought nothing of one particular shot. It looked like the trail just opened up into a clearing, a typical light at the end of the tunnel kind of moment. But today, more than a decade later, this person decided to zoom in on that photo. And what they saw gave them chills. That clearing? It wasn't a clearing at all. It looked like a white glowing shape, and what's even creepier is that it seems to shift between two different photos, taken moments apart. No one was there. No one should have been there. While exploring Hobson's Lake Trail in Halifax, a Redditor made a chilling discovery deep in the woods. An old, abandoned wooden cabin, hidden beneath layers of overgrowth. But what truly sent shivers down their spine wasn't the structure itself. It was what was inside. Hanging eerily behind a dusty window was a headless doll suspended from a rusty chain. No movement. No signs of anyone around, just silence, and that disturbing image. They snapped a quick photo and got out fast. Was it a twisted prank, or something left behind with a darker story? Either way, it's the kind of thing that haunts your thoughts long after you've left the forest. A Reddit user had just set up game cameras for the very first time deep within the dense forest of the Port Madison Indian Reservation in Indianola, Washington. It took a mile or two of hiking and even dirt biking just to get there. The area is so thick with trees, it's almost impossible to navigate without a strong light source. The first photo was taken by the game camera, the second by this person's cell phone. But what stood out wasn't just the eerie setting. It was the fact that someone appeared in those photos. Someone who didn't belong there. This person immediately contacted local police, thinking maybe someone was lost or in trouble. But to this day, they've never been able to explain it. And the strangest part? It all happened the very first night those cameras were set up. Could she have been lost? In danger? or was something far more sinister going on? A Reddit user captured this chilling footage with a camera mounted about 10 feet high at the back end of their property, facing a massive 10,000+ acre protected forest. And what the camera picked up at 2:39 a.m. is enough to give anyone goosebumps. This person had no lights guiding the area, just pitch black wilderness. Suddenly, a towering figure easily over 9 feet tall emerged from the forest and slowly made its way toward the street. The movement? Unnaturally slow. The camera even picked up eerie, unexplainable sounds for about 30 seconds after the creature appeared. And then, everything just stopped. This isn't a place where hunters roam. It's a tightly protected area. And according to this person, the footage is 100% unedited. Rewatching it still freaks them out, because whatever this was, it came very close to their home. While on a family trip to Guatemala, this person and their family visited a stunning recreation park surrounded by lush nature and peaceful trails. After a long walk through the park, they reached the end of the trail, where things took an unexpected turn. A park ranger approached and shared a chilling story. One night, he heard the dogs howling uncontrollably. Curious and confused, he began recording the eerie sounds. Later, when he watched the footage back at home, he noticed something spine-tingling. The dogs were reacting to a spirit that had been nearby at the time. While on a walk with his dog, this person stumbled upon something seriously unsettling. On an old grave, the moss had grown in a way that looked exactly like a human figure. No signs of it being scratched or carved. It's just naturally formed that way. Creepy, right? It's as if the grave itself is trying to tell a story. Or worse, show who's still lingering there. While hiking deep in rural Pennsylvania, this person experienced something they'll never forget. They were visiting their long-distance ex and often hiked through a nearby nature reserve with his little sister. One morning, about 15 minutes in, this person saw something swinging through the trees, long arms and inhuman speed, and then heard heavy footsteps from behind in an area no one could have climbed unnoticed. Then came the voices, familiar but wrong. The ex's sister heard the ex. This person heard their sister. They saw a tall, pitch-black figure in the tree line. Still, they followed the rule. Never acknowledge what's in the woods. Later, they passed a marsh where all the reeds had been violently ripped out. A bad sign if you believe in nature spirits. This person replanted a few, hoping to calm whatever was watching. At a stream, they saw what looked like a dog, until it stood up on 2 legs and walked away. They found a paw print with unnatural pressure on the claws, and even experts couldn't identify it. But the scariest part? A photo they took at the stream later revealed something off. In the background, a distorted dog-like creature and what looked like a hand rising from the water. Since then, this person has refused to enter the woods again. Day or night, ever. While hiking deep in the woods, this person stumbled across something that shouldn't have been there. Hidden beneath the thick canopy and cloaked in silence, they saw figures, glowing humanoid shapes drifting slowly between the trees. Not walking, floating. Their movements didn't match anything natural. No footsteps, no sound. Just this eerie, radiant presence weaving through the forest like it belonged to another world. Have you ever felt like the forest was watching you? That something ancient and intelligent was just beyond your line of sight? That's exactly how this person felt. These weren't hikers, they weren't people. They were illuminated beings. And the way they moved, it was as if the forest had opened a doorway to something far darker and older than we can understand. This person tried to stay calm, but every hair on their body stood on end. Why were they glowing? Why didn't they make a sound? And more importantly, why did they all turn to look at this person at the same time? While hiking through the deserted village at Watchung Reservation in New Jersey, this person and their family passed by the old Wilcox and Badgley family cemetery. That's when things got strange. The air suddenly felt heavier, off, like something unseen was watching. This person tried to shake it off, but that eerie feeling stuck around. They snapped a few photos of the cemetery and the surrounding woods. The place was dead silent. No one was in sight the entire time. But here's where it gets chilling. Later, while reviewing the pictures, they noticed something that wasn't there before. In the distance between the trees, you can see what looks like a person. And in the close-up shot, it's even clearer. But the thing is, he swears no one else was out there. They were completely alone, or so they thought. While hiking deep through a shadowy wooded trail near an old Massachusetts estate, this person stumbled upon something straight out of a nightmare. Standing silently among the trees were life-sized white statues, eerily human, cloaked in ghostly robes, and completely faceless. It looked like a haunting ritual frozen in time. But here's the twist. It turned out to be an outdoor art exhibit at the Mount, the historic home of author Edith Wharton. Still, for those first few chilling moments, it felt like they'd walked straight into a horror movie. Luckily, this time, the fear was all in their head. While staying at their cousin's place, this person experienced some seriously creepy stuff. They would hear footsteps upstairs in the middle of the day, even though no one was up there. One time, they even watched something swing above their head in slow, perfect circles. Around 4 a.m., full-blown conversations would echo through the vents, despite the house being completely silent. But the creepiest part? Their uncle snapped a photo that'll send chills down your spine. Behind him was nothing but a couch and a bookshelf, yet something or someone was staring from the window. During his night shift, this person was making his usual rounds when something felt off. The air turned cold, and a strange rhythmic noise echoed through the empty hallway.
Okay. Ya tú y Paco, imagínate. Ya parece y Macarena y terreno.
At first, this person thought it was just the building settling, but the sound got louder, closer. Curiosity or maybe instinct kicked in, and this person decided to investigate. As he turned the corner, what he saw sent chills down his spine.
Terreno, veña, imagínate. Ya tú y a ver ya. Te voy a ñande, cuídate, ñande. Ñande.
A small doll, unnaturally twisted, was just standing there, facing the wall. No one had reported any lost toys. No one else was around. And yet, it was there, perfectly still, too still. Was it just a prank? Or could something far more sinister have taken control of it? Was this doll possessed? While combing through footage from his trail cam, a Virginia hunter discovered something chilling and eerie. an almost translucent figure that resembles either a ghostly child or some unknown creature stalking the forest. Some skeptics chalk it up to moonlight playing tricks on the lens, but others, they're not so sure. Is this spine-tingling image actual proof of the paranormal, or just a creepy coincidence captured at the perfect moment? While hiking with her friend, a woman finally reached the breathtaking waterfall they had been chasing all day. They pulled out a camera to capture the moment.
Take your breath away? Took your breath away, right? Did it take your breath away? Take your breath away? Took your breath away, right? Did it take your breath away?
The words echoed over the roar of the falls. But then, something strange happened. Without warning, her ponytail flipped forward sharply, as though an unseen hand had pushed it. There was no wind. Nothing else in the frame moved. It was as if an invisible presence had brushed past her. She didn't flinch. She just kept walking, completely unaware. Was it a trick of air pressure, or something we're not meant to understand? Deep in the remote jungles of Arunachal Pradesh's Jaw district, a lone hiker faced a life or death choice. The only way forward? A narrow, crumbling bridge, half devoured by raging floodwaters. Below, the river snarled and roared, its current ready to claim anyone foolish enough to slip. Every plank groaned under his weight. Every step could have been his last. But with his heart pounding like a war drum, he pushed forward and somehow, against the odds, emerged on the other side, alive. While hiking through a quiet forest trail with a friend, someone stepped into a hidden clearing and instantly froze. Hanging from a tree was something so disturbing, so out of place, it sent a chill down their spine. No one could explain why it was there, and its eerie presence in such a remote spot only made it more haunting. They didn't dare get closer. Instead, they turned and walked away, hearts racing, completely unnerved by what they'd just seen. On July 7th, 2025, YouTuber Shadow Hollow decided to take on a solo night hike through a dense, remote forest. At first, it was just another adventure for his channel, but before long, the night took a chilling turn. The fuck? The fuck? Fuck that. Then he froze. He saw something. From deep within the trees came strange, unrecognizable sounds, low, echoing, and wrong. Suddenly, two glowing eyes pierced the darkness ahead of them. Someone, or something, was watching him. The sounds grew louder, closer. Deciding not to take any chances, he turned to leave. But that's when he spotted it. Whatever it was, it broke into a sprint, charging straight toward him.
Shit, guys. Go.
Shadow Hollow didn't wait to get a better look. He ran, hard. Thankfully, he made it back to his car and sped away. But to this day, what or who was out there in that forest remains a mystery, one he'll never forget. One night, a farmer glanced out his window and spotted something unusual moving in the distance. Curious and uneasy, he reviewed the security footage, and what he saw sent a chill down his spine. A lone figure, draped in what looked like a long gown, was slowly gliding across his land. There was no flashlight, no source of light at all, and yet they navigated the pitch-black, uneven terrain with eerie ease, never stumbling, never hesitating. Who or what could move like that in total darkness? And more importantly, why were they there at all? A lone hiker wandering through the remote backwoods of Virginia veered off the main trail and discovered something chilling. A moss-covered stone corridor, ancient and eerily out of place, nestled deep beneath the towering trees. At the corridor's end stood a rusted iron gate, looming like a forgotten warning. He snapped a photo and posted it on Reddit, asking if anyone else felt unsettled. The responses poured in. Everyone agreed. It didn't look like a barrier meant to keep people out. It felt more like it was built to contain something. No one knows who built it. No one knows why it's there. But maybe you have a theory. During a family hike at Shades State Park in Indiana, a man, his son, and his grandson found themselves on a muddy trail. Hoping to avoid the muck, he stepped just off the path in search of firmer ground. But in an instant, his leg plunged knee-deep into thick, sucking mud. Each attempt to pull free only dragged him deeper. With no branches to grab and nothing solid to hold onto, he was forced to lunge forward, clawing at the ground for escape. The mud clung so fiercely that it nearly tore off his boots and pants. Fortunately, his family was right there to help, because without them, he might still be stuck in that unforgiving grip. While hiking, a man stumbled upon a scene that instantly sent chills down his spine.
Look. Bro. Like, what? Bro, this is crazy. This is crazy. Look at this. Bro, like, did somebody put something in the water? And it's all the way back out through there, bro. Look at all those fish. Look at all of these dead fish, bro. These are alive in this little spot, as y'all can see.
Before him, the water was littered with the bodies of dozens of fish, their silver scales reflecting the light in eerie stillness. From the water's edge and stretching far into the distance, lifeless forms floated, as if the entire pond had been poisoned overnight. Yet, in one small patch where fresh water trickled in, life still flickered, with minnows darting frantically, desperately clinging to survival. The rest of the pond, however, was eerily silent. No oil slick, no trash, no obvious signs of contamination. Just the unsettling. This man was exploring a haunted waterfall when he unknowingly captured something chilling on camera. For just a brief moment, a dark figure appears, then vanishes without a trace. Viewers noticed it looks eerily like a person standing near the falls. The first time the camera pans down, everything seems normal. but the second glance reveals the shadowy presence, and by the third, it's completely gone. So, was it just a trick of the light, or did he catch something paranormal lurking in the mist? On January, this woman set out to hike and camp deep in the Australian wilderness, but when night fell, everything changed. The wind roared through the trees, and she could swear something, or someone, was circling her tent.
I don't think I've slept one single minute the entire night. It's just so loud. There it is.
Every rustle, every snap of a twig made her heart race. Was it a wild animal, or something far more unsettling? By morning, she realized it might have just been her mind playing tricks on her. But that didn't change the fact that she hadn't slept a single minute. Exhausted, she pushed on with her hike, hoping her next campsite wouldn't feel quite so haunted by the unknown. Late one night, a man was driving through a dark, echoing tunnel when he witnessed something that defied all logic. Unable to believe what he saw, he quickly reviewed his dashcam footage, and there it was. A mysterious figure materialized out of nowhere, only to vanish as his car passed through it. Was it the lingering spirit of someone long gone, or just an eerie trick of the light? What do you think happened that night? While strolling through his quiet neighborhood, a man stumbled upon something so strange, he had to pull out his phone and record it. What he captured looked eerily like a tiny ape, but according to him, no such animals exist anywhere nearby. Baffled, he posted the footage online, hoping someone could identify it. Yet, every comment only deepened the mystery. So, what do you think it could be? In 1988, Swiss businessman Gregor Spory set off for Egypt in search of something that could change everything he thought he knew about history. He scoured the Red Sea's shores, crawled through the narrow chambers of the Great Pyramid of Giza, and even bribed guards for the rare chance to spend a night beside Khufu's sarcophagus. There, Spory met an elderly man, said to be the descendant of a long line of tomb raiders, who unveiled a relic that defied belief. A 58-centimeter-long, mummified human-like finger. Spory paid $300 just for the privilege of photographing it. While scientists brushed it off as a hoax, the whispers of ancient giants refused to fade. And neither did the mystery that haunted him. After a long night of relentless rain that carried into the morning, something strange appeared.
Alright, so this morning, me and my dad found these boot prints along our asphalt driveway. And it was a little strange. We were a little freaked out because we live in the woods, middle of nowhere. Yeah. And these footprints, we did some tests, and my dad is 5'11", size 12 shoe. And the prints are bigger than his shoe size. And the strides were much too large for his height. And yeah, here are the prints. I don't know if you can see them very well. It's not great visibility. I'm trying to find one with good visibility that's kind of there. Walks along. Goes away. And it disappears right over here. I don't know why. Let me find a better print. That's a pretty vivid one right there. You can see the outline right there. The point with a little blank space in the middle, which I'll explain in the text below.
They inspected the prints, His father, standing 5 feet 11 inches and wearing size 12 shoes, couldn't match them. These were much bigger, and the stride was too long for anyone his height. Whoever or whatever made them, he adds, had to be at least 6 feet 3 inches, maybe wearing a size 13 or 14 boot. He scans the path where the prints continue in a perfect line, until they just vanish. No scuffs, no drag marks, gone. One print stands out. It's unusually clear. A defined toe, a blank spot where the heel lifts. Not your average hiking boot, not even modern. They look like something from the past, curved toes, strange spacing, almost identical to centuries-old military boots. And considering there's a cluster of war-era graves just beyond the woods, it begs the question, what kind of boots leave a trail through the rain and then disappear without a trace?